In this video, I will be sharing with you step by step how you can apply for your U.S. visas from Guyana, whether it be a visitor's visa, student work visa, H-2B visa, or even a fiancé visa. All of the U.S. visa applications are done using the DS-160 form. Throughout this video, you'll see how to select the visa type that you need, so make sure you stay until the end. So guys, to get started, you want to go to the DS-160 form. The link will be in the description of this video. Once you're on this page, from the drop down select your country and the nearest city. So here I'm going to select Guyana, Georgetown. Enter this code shown on the screen. Here you can start an application. Now when you start an application, you'll receive a application ID. That application ID can be used to retrieve your application later on. So let's select start an application, select I agree, and you want to ensure that you save this application ID. So once you select the I agree button, scroll down and select a security question, right? Once you specify the answer, select continue. Here you're going to provide your surname, your given names, that is like your first name and last name, and most likely you don't have a full name in native alphabet, so let's uncheck that. For the first name, I'm going to say Garcia. For the given names, I'm going to say Miguel. Have you ever used any other names? Maiden name, religious name, professional, alias? Select what best applies. Do you have a telecode that represents your name? Select what best applies. Select your sex, select what best applies. Select your marital status, select what best applies. Now here you're going to specify your date of birth and your place of birth. So for the city, I'm just going to say Kingston, and for the state, I'm just going to say Georgetown. For the country or region, Guyana. Once you've done that, select scroll down and select next. What is your nationality of origin? Select what best applies. Do you hold any other nationality other than the one indicated? Select what best applies to you. Are you a permanent resident of another country? Select what best applies to you. Here you're going to specify your identification number. If you do not have a social security number, select does not apply, and the same thing for the tax identification number. Then you select next to travel. Now this is the important section. This is where you specify your visa type, whether it be a H-2B visa, whether it be a work and travel visa, whether it be a government visa, right? So for the regular visitor's visa, you want to select temporary business pleasure visitor, which is the B type, right? Now from the drop down, you're going to specify the type, which is business and tourism. It's typically called the B1, B2 visa. If you want to apply for another visa, select add another. Have you made specific travel plans? Select what best applies. So here you're going to specify your intended date of arrival, how long you intend to stay, and the address where you intend to stay in the United States. And then you're going to select who is paying for your trip. Then you select next. Are there any persons traveling with you? Select what best applies, then select next. Have you ever been in the US? Select what best applies. Have you ever been refused a US visa? Select what best applies. Has anyone ever filed an immigrant petition on your behalf with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services? Select what best applies to you. Then select next. On this page, you're going to specify your address, right? So it's going to be the street where you live, the city, the state, and the zip code. If you don't know the zip code, you can select does not apply. For the country or region, you're going to select your country from the drop down. Is your mailing address the same as your home address? Here I'm just going to say yes. And here I'm just going to specify my primary phone number. For the secondary phone number and work phone number, you can select does not apply. Have you used any other phone number in the last 5 years? Select what best applies. And then here you're going to specify your email address. Have you used any other email addresses in the past 5 years? In my case, I'm going to say no. So here they're just checking for your social media presence, right? So you're going to select what best applies to you. I'm just going to say Facebook, and then they're going to ask you for the social media identifier. If you want to add another one, select add another. Do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other websites or applications you have used within the last 5 years? Create or share content, photos and videos? Select what best applies to you. Here you're going to select your travel document type. I'm going to go with regular passport, and for the travel document number, specify your passport number. For the passport book number, you can select does not apply, and here you're going to specify where your travel document was issued you'll see it in your passport. So I'm just going to say Georgetown, right? Select the date it was issued and specify the expiry date. Or have you ever had your passport lost or stolen? Select what best applies to you. Then you select next US contact. For the contact person, you can specify the name of a relative. If you don't have a relative, then for the hotel that you plan to stay or the business place that you plan to go, then you can put the information here. So for organization, I'm going to say do not know. For relationship, I'm going to say relative. And then here, you're going to just specify the address for the contact person or business. And then once you complete this information, you're going to select next to family. Here, you're going to specify your father's full name and date of birth. For me, I'm just going to say do not know for now. And for given names, I'm going to say do not know, and you're going to do the same thing for your mother. However, ensure you specify the correct information because this video is just for demonstration purposes. Do you have any immediate relatives, not including parents in the United States? This could be a husband or a wife, son or daughter, or other siblings. Select what best applies to you. Then you're going to select next to work and education and training. From the drop down, select your primary occupation. Here I'm just going to say agriculture. Then you're going to specify the name of your employer's school name, right? And then you're going to complete the address. Here you're going to specify your start date of work, and then you're going to specify your estimated income in your local currency. So I'm just going to say 200,000, and here you can specify a short description, and here you can specify a short description of your duties. Then you select next. Were you previously employed? Select what best applies to you. Have you attended any educational institution at secondary level or above? Select what best applies to you. I'm just saying no because if I say yes, they're going to ask me to specify that information, right? So I'm just going to say no to keep things simple. Then select next to work and education again. So they're just asking additional information about your work and education. Do you belong to a tribe or clan? Select what best applies to you. Specify the language that you speak. I'm just going to say English. Have you traveled to any country or region within the last 5 years? Select no. I'm just going to select no. Have you belonged to, contributed to, or worked for any professional, social, or charitable organization? Select what best applies to you. Do you have any specialized skills or training, such as firearms, explosive, nuclear, biological, or chemical experience? Select what best applies to you. Have you ever served in the military? Select what best applies to you. Have you ever served in, been a member of, or been involved with a parliamentary unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, guerrilla group, or insurgent organization? Select what best applies to you. Then select next. Here they're just going to ask a bunch of security questions. Now if you have never have any run-ins with the law, pretty much your answers will be no. However, ensure you read each questions before you answer, right? So for this section, I'm going to select no as well. Again, ensure that you take the time and read it. Then select next. Same thing for part 3. So on this section, I'm going to select no as well. Then select next. So for these, I'm going to select no as well and then select next to photo. Now here is where you upload your photo. So select upload. Select choose file. I'll select upload selected photo. So this passport quality passed the standard. If it did not pass, then you'll get an error and then you'll have to re-upload it. There are tons of web applications out there that you can use to resize your passport size photo. So here we're going to select next. We're going to select review. So this is a summary of all the information you provided during the application. Now if you need to change anything, just select the option with editing it, right? Now select next to travel, and it will do this for all the sections. So I'm just going to hit next. So ensure you take your time to review these information and ensure everything is accurate because you don't want to be making any silly mistakes that you could have just fixed while you're reviewing the application. Now the next step is to sign and submit. So read this information thoroughly, right? Enter the passport number and then enter the code shown on the screen and then select sign and submit. Oh, I missed a question. Did anyone assist you with filling out this application? No. Now let's hit submit again. So you have successfully signed and submitted your application. You cannot make any change to your application at this point. Please click next to confirm and complete. So I'm going to select confirm. So guys, this is your confirmation page. You'll need to take this to the interview with you. Now you can print this page and save it as a PDF and print it at a later date. If you have a printer, you'll just select the printer option and then print it immediately. You can also email a copy of it to yourself by selecting the email confirmation, and it will email it to the address on file, or if you want to specify a different email address, then you select yes here and then specify that email address. However, I'm going to sit back to confirm. So the next step, guys, is to pay for your application and schedule your interview. I've done a step-by-step video on that using Jamaica. The steps are the same, so you can watch that video. The link will be in the description of this video or at the card. And guys, if you have made it this far in this video, I'd appreciate if you give me a subscribe. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Wait, I saved you a couple $100 maybe, so it would be the least for you to subscribe. So just kidding, guys. Take the time out, give me a sub. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.
You're dancing. Good stuff. We stop the wait.